everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Legacy. I'm Kia, your favorite inspirationalist, and I'll be hosting this week's topic. And the episode is all about how to gracefully handle conflict with other women.
Ooh.
What's going on? What y'all think about that topic?
I think it's an interesting topic, given
that we had a fight before we got started.
Right. Absolutely. About some boxes. Because she petty.
I need conflict resolution. Because y'all beat me. It was like 2 against 1, y'all. It
right.
Really was.
Well, when the case is ridiculous.
Y'all sold it, though. I didn't think it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
I had it all
you know what? Let
prepared.
me back that up. It was not a ridiculous case.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was a very good reason and rationale. I just don't think you consider all your other options.
I didn't. I didn't want to.
But that's what we're here for.
Okay.
To support you.
Okay. What's going on?
She just wanted to put us out. She just wanted us to
Right. She's trying to clean house.
I am. I needed more space. So who do I have with me? I'm sure y'all already know, but ladies, introduce yourselves.
Hey, ladies, it's me, Jasmine.
And here we are, about 18 months in.
It's like the 30th episode.
Just record episodes, 400. And
yes, it's just Jasmine.
And it's still just Jasmine.
Jasmine, like, I don't need anything after my name
to define me.
Like, I get it. I'm going to drop mine. This Kia, accept me as I am. Love it or hate it.
She just not trying.
No.
She ain't trying.
I've done my research. I've Googled.
Research. I feel like she really like. I feel like she really like it now.
But wait, what research?
Right. Where you researching? Podcast names?
What
do you ask Google?
I don't know. You know,
hey Google, what's my name?
What's cool names?
What's a cool name? What's a cool name tag? Like, I don't know. Nicknames. I try to think of like
Bootylicious.
Somebody got that one.
Statements or slogans or I mean I don't know. I'm just searching everything and nothing is popping out to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jasmine, we'll keep you in prayer.
In prayer, Jesus, like I'm not dealing with this. This is
why he gave me a name. I helped her mama give her a name.
This is ridiculous. Bring me something serious. I'm not
real.
helping Right.
Let me tell you what I'm not doing.
Jasmine's really issue. This ain't
I am who I am.
Well, this is Lexi, your expert in evolution.
I love it. Lex, how'd you come up with that name? Have you ever given it? You probably did, but let's just tell the audience again.
Right. For the sake of conversation.
Exactly.
I did give it some thought. My hashtag, even for Milestone, my business is evolution in progress. And so the expert piece of it is that's what I'm working with people on, to be able to help you identify ways and areas, in addition to myself, where you can evolve.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about.
Awesome. All about evolution. And I'm not even sure if I ever even shared why I chose
I was going to ask you.
Inspirationalist. No, you don't have to ask. I got this.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of figured why. You always got some sort of
me clear my throat.
Right. At least you figured why I wasn't like, why would she choose that name?
Why in the world would she?
That doesn't even make sense. She's never but seriously, I always felt like I empowered people, but I looked up the word kind of like inspiration, like empowering people to like act, to like move into a positive direction. And I believe inspiration is contagious. Mm-hmm. So definitely that's what I try to live by, just inspiring people to live their best life. So guys, I hope those who are listening that you feel that is happening and that we are living out our names, with the exception of Jasmine. We can't really hold her accountable.
Well, there's somebody out here who doesn't know who they are yet. So
Right.
They're on this journey with you, Jazz.
Look at you connected to the listeners.
Look at you. They're like, I like Jasmine. She don't know who she is either.
We evolving together.
And inspiring each other.
I love it. I love it. So listen, ladies, girl, did you know? And for our listeners, we do record in Philadelphia. We are Philly natives, with the exception of Lexi, who is from
Aliquippa.
Okay. Okay. She now lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
That's all that matters.
Wow.
Right. So, listen.
Conflict.
Right.
Over where she resides.
2 against 1.
Right.
So how about this? So last year, there were 312 homicides in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Like, girl, did you know that there were 312 homicides in Philadelphia?
Shit, I would have thought it would have been more.
You would have thought it would have been more.
Only like 312 per week?
It didn't say
for the whole year.
For the year? Is
that down?
Well, okay, so this is what it says. So this is from the Philadelphia Tribune. It says last year there were the Philadelphia Tribune. It says last year there were 312 homicides in Philadelphia, the most since 2012. 2012 it was 331. So that's what it says. That do seem kind of low.
It definitely seems kind of low. Especially if you're looking at the news every day. It's like...
But you know what? That's a good point, though. I think that's a good point because we talked about this in church, like over the weekend or last weekend or something, and how we have to start controlling the narrative of what's said out there. We being like minorities, especially black people, because in Philly... I think it is intentional to try to make you think that it is more deaths that are happening that really are. So you think of the severity and the frequency when Philadelphia Tribune, you know, that's a black-owned paper.
Yeah, it is.
Now, the news will have you keep seeing these happening over and over again. It could have been the same exact one, but maybe they decided to split the story.
Exactly.
So I would actually believe that it really is that low of a number because the goal is to do what we all feel.
Right.
Like, that's it?
That's it.
Because we see in the news.
I was thinking like 1,000 because it always seems
because every day
is dying.
Yeah,
it is.
every single day.
So what the Philadelphia Tribune is doing is they're running a special every Sunday where they're talking about poverty and they're talking about crime and basically how the two are connected to each other. And one thing that they lifted up, which was really deep, and this was the title or the subtitle of the article, it says, desperate acts found more in zip codes that are struggling economically. So they gave information on the top 3 zip codes where the homicide rates were the highest. And one zip code I'm actually from, Jazz, you might be from this
19132.
19132, North Philadelphia. 19134, Port Richmond, and 19140, Germantown.
That's Germantown.
So those 3 zip codes are responsible for almost a third of the city's homicide since January 2013.
If you live in those zip codes, y'all get out.
Right. But it's crazy because, I mean, I lived there until 19132 until I probably was maybe like 5 or 6 years old. And I don't know if I ever shared with you ladies, my grandmother... And my cousin and I, we were walking down the street. My cousin was probably maybe a year older than me. So he probably was like 6. And he was able to identify, I think it was they called them crack vials or not. It wasn't a pipe, but it was a vial and they used to have colored tops and it had crack in there. And he was able to identify what that was. And that really bothered her. And she was like, I'm out of the city. I'm leaving. So we ended up moving to Delaware. And I'm like, what would have happened had I stayed in the 19132? Jazz, I don't know how long you were there. Maybe you could share, you know, what it was like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I lived in 19132 for about, I'm going to say about 9 years, 9 to 10 years. And, I don't know. I can't say that it was as, again, even when I lived there, I didn't witness or hear that much crime. Like, I heard a little gunfire here and there, but what was just more visible was more of the drug scene directly at the corner of the block. But I don't know. It wasn't. Well, it wasn't as bad as the news would make you think it was. That's, if I had to say that. Yeah. Like, I mean, it wasn't like everybody was getting killed around there every single day. It wasn't like you heard gunshots every single day.
Okay.
But it would just be like, if you looked at the news, it was just like you felt like it was every other area but your area that was going on or that was that bad.
And one thing they're trying to say is because people are in poverty, they're reverting to crime. They're reverting to drugs. They're robbing each other. They're breaking into cars. They're breaking into homes. So the conversation that they're trying to lift up is how do we increase the people's education? How do we increase the resource? How do we increase their income? Because we have a really high population of people living in poverty. And those areas are where a lot of people are in poverty.
Which has been intentional too. I mean, like when you look at gentrification and some of the zoning changes and redefining, if you will, of areas, when you look at like North Philly, Temple's in North Philly, but there was a very intentional transition or migration, if you will, of moving people to a certain area who could not necessarily afford maybe those properties who were like right within. And so I got to look at this school, but I can't even work at this school to kind of make money. And then the same thing with Germantown, like, because I'm in 19144, which is still considered Germantown, but they are getting their gentrification on up in there. So houses are going from what may have been, 150 to 200,000 now upwards of 300,000, 350. And these are like twins and row homes that they're, rehabbing and tearing down. But now those people, they're kind of shifting, trying to shift some to Mount Airy, some to Northeast, some to, so it just continues the cycle, but it's the anger too.
Yeah.
That kind of fuels a lot of people. And so, you kill who you see every day too.
Right.
Or you rob who you see every day.
That's true. And they're saying they're doing it. And one thing that was so important, they're doing it out of desperation.
Yeah.
People are trying to put food on the table, people are trying to provide for their families, especially the men. But there's a district attorney named Larry Krasner. And one thing he said, he did, I have no idea who he is, but they quoted him in an article. And he said, poverty causes crime and crime causes poverty. But he was saying basically we are sending men to jail for like these petty offenses, giving them felonies. So when they come back out, they can't find good paying jobs. So it's like it's a vicious cycle.
Again, intention. Like that's all intentional because, the system knows who the system's going to impact.
Yeah.
And I remember reading an article, I think we might have talked about this, where it said they built jails based on the number of third grade black boys who cannot read at that level.
Yeah.
And so again, if you look at, well, let's put them away for these otherwise petty offenses, nonviolent crimes, we'll say, because then when they come out, they won't be able, and then we'll annihilate ourselves. And it's a great way to kind of help. And so that's why I get so annoyed when people say things like, well, Black lives do matter, but if we don't treat each other right, then how can we expect? Because I can expect you not to kill me for no reason.
Should have expectancies on both ends.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's not like kill us because we kill ourselves. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Nobody needs it. So if nothing more, it's like because we don't need any help.
Yeah.
We don't really need any help in that area, just like they don't need any help. But yeah, I think it's definitely some intentions behind it that I'm glad the Tribune is bringing up and that we're talking about, because we need to come up with. There's all kinds of programs out there too.
Right.
Like even with Milestone Kid, Jasmine, y'all came down to North Philly when we were talking to the kids and trying to talk to them about.
I think we were in 1912.
Yeah. We're trying to talk to them about options and things that we can do. And so we're actually going to be reviving that program again.
Wonderful.
For the school year.
Wonderful.
And it's stuff like that will help just show them that there are other options.
There are. And they were saying people are hopeless. So even if you're talking about that program, it's like we have to be intentional about doing those and expanding them to all the areas of the city, especially the ones where there's a lot of hopelessness. Yeah, right?
I mean, like, those are some key areas to target because they're cutting back funds in the school district. But what a lot of school districts either don't know or can't get access to is there's still tons of grants that if you are like a nonprofit or even some private companies like me, you can get these grants and go back to the district and do these things that, have been cut from the environment. Like I know Martin Luther King, I think they cut the music program. I think
the high school. Okay.
At King. And it was a decision made between Enon and the school. And so they put the music program back in place and Enon pays the salary for that music teacher.
Wow.
Just to try to do something to give kids that outlet.
Exactly.
Who may have that as a creative.
Yeah. Someone with this, it's funny that you said how someone outside of the school is paying the salary for the teacher, because you remember the Philadelphia schools had closed a few times because they didn't have air conditioners. And one teacher I'm really good friends with, hey Niche, on Facebook was saying that the parents should really try to raise money to make sure that the classroom, the school has air conditioning. I mean, a kid go to school one day and he's being sent home. So the parents have to be empowered too to take things into their hand to make things happen in their kids' school, in their community, in their neighborhoods, because it's definitely possible.
And that's the PTA. Yeah. We asked about it too, like for Camille's school,
right?
Because we were just like, listen. First off, it cost me more for you to shut down and me just get you an air conditioner.
True. Yeah. Let's
just get together,
right,
and make this work.
Yeah. Get your little 500 BTU.
Right.
How many BTUs we can get them?
5,000.
5,000. Oh, I said 500. Right. They be hot all day.
Right, all the time. That's like a fan.
Oh, good. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting a fan.
Listen,
it's better than nothing.
It really is.
Fan. Oh.